They shouldn't have given you ashy blokes YouTube.
Cursed be the ground for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
You can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they stay the same. You're getting way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child, can't break even, can't get out of the game. Yeah. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, you dusty denizens, we in the house, and since I guess this is election week, and there's no short of people commenting on the election, so I guess all the publicity and all the campaign and propaganda that was strewn around have got people feeling a certain kind of way, so got people crashing out, people crying in their beer, and people dancing in the streets. So we got a full range. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to, I could queue a few things up and talk about it, but I figured go ahead and get out of the way, do an open panel for about an hour or so, and let people talk. So all you people that have all this stuff to say in the comments section on a continuous basis about how you feel that Kamala was done wrong, okay, this is your time. And my timer is up, so I'm listening. He's first. Devon, what's going on? Lavis batting third, taking notes from that course you recommend where there's a will. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep, good course. Very good course. I actually found that when I was actually teaching my children in elementary and middle school. Okay, very effective course. Royal Priest, what's going on? Trail, free agent Triple OG, and the guy that actually came up with the course, he said he had to find out, he had to reinvent it because he had to teach his son because his son was failing. Free agent Triple OG, John Smith, what's going on? Tears are flowing like a waterfall. Yes, sir. There's Toya with my apple and the exclamation points. Okay. Red Pill Sleeper, Louis, what's happening? Smitty, hey, we need another update on that on Clubhouse, man. Smitty was good. Babu, Rame Lab, what's going on? AL Smooth, what's going on? Smooth as butter. Hey, Al, okay, if you get some time, man, it shouldn't be too hard for you. The walkout song for Trump and Many Men by 50 Cent. If you can, if you got a few minutes, man, throw it together and let me know. Paul, what's going on? Brian, what's going on? Inspired Truth, Shannon. Barry, what's going on? Supreme Pivot, what's happening? Laveris, what's up, man? One of my day ones. Selling Democrat tears for $9.99. An extra $1, I'm selling Van Jones pocket handkerchiefs. y'all ain't shit. EAW, what's going on? Oh, from Columbia. Okay. Stay out of trouble, man. Basically, don't leave your drink by itself, and be careful of the hose that you bust up in. All right. Broke down blue wall and it's replaced with black wall. make that vote. Yep. Michael L. What's going on? Bureau. Mr. Donnie Mack had a soul. Par D. What's going on? Yep. The crash outs. John Smith. Trail. Ilias. What's going on? Jeffrey. What's going on? Kinsey and Red. What's happening? Mr. Snazzy. Adric. Okay. Adric's down in the middle of the pack. What happened, Adric? Mr. J. Matt. What's going on? Wrench. What's happening? And Dust We Trust. J. Will. Oh, it's not. It's different than that. I'd have to explain to you. Michael, what's happening? Barry Hamilton, what's going on? Dusty PhD, what's happening? Dr. Dunbar, what's happening? Thorns and Thistles. See, Leon, what's going on, man? The Big Trick. Mr. Donnie Mack, Kadish. Ed, I thought you were live, Ed. Instant Media beaming in on 7. She Hates Me. This is a good movie. Indigo Flow, what's happening? She Hates Me came from Spike Lee got the title from a dude in I think it was the one of those offbeat football leagues, right? Okay, and on the back of his jersey it said "He Hate Me," so that's where he got it from. I got to find that "He Hate Me" because it actually became a good kick returner in the NFL. LAXC, what's going on? The Yo, Olatito, Trail, Applebite, what's going on? Marcus B2B, and Compassionate, Oos. The Red Comet, what's happening, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. Pharaoh, crash out day 2. Hey, you ain't never going home, Pharaoh. Cello, what's going on? Indigo Flow. Let's see what else we got. Ray, what's happening, Ray? What's the word? Detroit 313, what's going on? Yango, what's going on? Now, but who comes up? BGS was right. Not always. Not always. If you know what you're talking about, I'll let you talk. Claptraps everywhere in Colombia. Yep. Be careful. As a former narco state, if you want to be safe, get out of the big city. The margin of popular vote won by Republican candidates was the largest since '88. Yep. Since Reagan, since Bush. Kamal, what's going on? Xander, what's going on? Cello, you think Gov might find somewhere to put Harris in office? No, I don't think so, man. No, they're not gonna do that one. Castlevania Kid, what's happening? Oh, the sweet taste of tears. XFL, yeah, that was sort of a sincere. What's happening? Theo, what's going on, Mookie? Drinking liberal tears. Shea latte, chai latte. Jay Cleveland. Let's see, Afro National. I think we already said How to Soul. Who else that we didn't get? Independent POV. Zavi, what's up, man? Never seen so many white millennials talk about leaving the U.S. They ain't going nowhere, man. Ninja Person, what's going on? Let's see. Joe Black, Castlevania says 50 Cent said in a recent interview they was offered $5 million to do the song for Trump, turned it down, didn't want to get involved. Yeah, he offered some money to do it for Trump, man. Syracuse man, what's up? Mega, yeah, bought the audio back in the '90s. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. TJ never left. What's happening? Yeah, Dr. Amos, man, one of my online mentors, Dr. Amos Wilson, at the Slave Theater. I was meltdown videos all day to get to where I heard that. And white women backdoor black women like it's a sport. They don't even backdoor them, man. Basically, they know who white women are, man. They hope to get a piece. That's all. Anyhow, white woman will white woman. Okay. Rich Turner says crypto was up, stocks were up, interest rates just dropped. Chicks are concerned about their into into Auschwitz. Holy shit! You guys are not shit. Now black women are coming at white women and Latinos. I don't think they're ready for that smoke. Man, the white people and Latinos ain't even thinking about them, man. They just laugh. Said Keisha probably tell Keisha to take a seat. Keisha, take a seat, man. They know nobody came to see you, Keisha. Sit down. Anyhow, let me go ahead and drop this, and you guys can come up. Uh, this was actually a big thing, man, because the international, the geopolitical scene, man, is ablaze right now with Trump and and the defeat of Biden, because it really Harris and Trump uh, represent two schools of thought as far as politics, and that's what's going on right now, and that's why it was such a big deal. So it's not even about the two people involved; it's about the school of thought involved. I'm innocent, I tell you.
Hey, what's going on, BGS?
What's up?
If I'm not mistaken, you asked me to make a graphic of something. Be careful what you ask for.
What happened? Hold on. What's that? Let me go ahead and put it up. Solo layout.
Yeah, at the very least, you can get more into geopolitics again.
Yeah, the blue wall. Talk about aspirational, huh?
Yeah. I was like, but there's something. I was trolling them yesterday. I was like, oh, this something wrong with this map. It's very low information. I mean, it's
You want your
very low
camera on,
information
Mookie?
on map.
Yeah, Trump got what, like 310, 312?
Something like that.
I
But
think the video I showed said he was going to get 306. So basically, even that guy was underestimating the you know, when his estimate was conservative, and people thought he was
it
nuts.
depends whenever
And
they get done counting Nevada and
and the code breaker said that Kamala Harris was going to get like 326.
yeah,
Shit,
that's
well, I
basically their
felt bad
map.
because I said it was gonna be like a Reagan-esque thing, but it was close with the
Look,
red. Just not. Oh, here's another thing
hold,
that's
hold on, hold
crazy.
on. It's Mookie's trying to show us something. Hold on.
What is that?
Time magazine.
Oh,
In the
it's Trump.
golf cart. In the golf cart. Oh, hold on. I got something for you guys, man. This is
Yeah, this is September 30th, just this year.
really.
This is 5 weeks ago. Yeah.
When he got shot at, right?
No.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
it was a debate. But this just shows the BS. I didn't even believe anything the media said.
Yeah.
I was just like, you guys don't know what's going on. Like, obviously, you guys are on the echo chamber.
They do, but they had to lie about it, and that's why you couldn't trust them. That's how come Bezos pulled out at the last second. You know, he got tired of lying for him. I'm not gonna lie for you anymore, especially when I know you're not gonna win.
Yep. Yeah, Bezos knew.
I'm interested in all the different types of positions that everybody's taking. It seems like a bunch of different groups are kind of taking credit
For what?
for the Trump win. So you have like the pro-black B1 folk, you got the pro-Palestinian folk. Like everybody's kind of putting their flag in there.
Well, okay. The thing is, the thing is, Biden. If they had kept Biden, he was going to lose anyway because
Yep.
because Biden's approval rating was like below 39. Okay,
Absolutely.
he was going to lose anyway. So
He would have lost. It
basically,
would have been worse.
the thing is, everybody's taking credit for it. But the thing is, when I listen to pedestrians, those are pedestrian people. Okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? Okay, we told you this was probably gonna happen, barring Trump going to jail or barring Trump going to getting murked, for lack of a better term, right? He was going to win this, okay, because one, Biden couldn't run, and Kamala's probably even worse, which she was, and two,
Yeah.
the policies they ran over the last 4 years did so much damage. There's no way he could win this one, okay?
Yeah, basically, this is just me being petty.
This go ahead.
I'm out.
I'm sorry.
I need more tears. More tears, please.
Yeah, that
Okay.
I'm sorry, I
hold,
was just
hold,
being petty.
hold on. This is Trump walking into the office, right? Okay.
That's that last season. That's just why it's sad though, 'cause we got
yeah, they
we
said
got his
Trump
face
ate
up
in
there.
California too. Like so
Oh,
his
yeah, he ate it
So
everywhere,
what?
even New
He did
York.
what in California?
he ate deep into California. I mean, it was like
Yeah,
2 million. He lost by like 2 million votes.
Uh huh.
So his popular vote hold is there. It's probably like 3 million and some change as far
yeah,
as how much he won
I,
the
I,
popular vote.
I mean, the thing is, Hillary Clinton lost because of what she did in Libya. Okay,
right.
that was clear. Then DOD was not going to let her get in because of Libya, right? That's why she lost. Okay. Now, when Trump lost because of COVID, everybody knows Trump lost because of COVID, right?
Yeah,
He shouldn't have kept his job. He should have been fired, okay, because the mistakes he made with COVID, right? Okay. And these clowns made a mistake with the economy and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? That's why they lost, okay.
yeah,
And people, rightfully so. And basically, like I said, the hurricane just put the nail in the coffin. And you
hmm
found out
Yeah.
all the tricks,
but
chicanery they were doing with the money. Go ahead.
to Ed's point, I think when last time Biden he had California by like 5 million. This time it was just a little under 2 million.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
that's the man. They knew that she wasn't a good candidate, and I'm glad that the American people proved me right that they weren't this stupid.
yeah, but some of them still crashing out. Good lord.
It's
Oh, well, they
kind
can
of a
crash out. They can crash out
Well,
because
yeah,
they're
all
going
of
by their
that is
feelings.
some of that is attention whoring. Some of that,
True.
I mean, all this. We gonna go to the 4B movement. I'm like, good. All that goofy shit. Them
Yeah.
going out of their way to blame black men because even though because a lot of them are scared of white women, and you're not gonna say nothing about Hispanics. So at the end of the day, yeah,
Well,
it's
what do we lose if they like? I told
exactly.
them today. I was
Nothing.
like,
Nothing.
I'm
Hold
a
on. Hold on.
passport
Hold on.
bro.
Ed. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm already not engaged with you. I'm not
Mm.
doing anything with you. You don't. You're hanging something in front of me. I know that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a false flag. There's nothing there, and you think that it's this trick doesn't work on us anymore. You think that you're in La La Land, lady. So
If you're a passport boy, you're happy that he's out of office is because the damage that he was doing to not only the U.S. dollar but also the U.S. reputation. Okay.
Hmm.
You're probably happy that he's gone because of what he's doing, not just nationally but also internationally. Okay,
And
because he was making the United States reputation trash.
yeah, and this is a good start. The fact that you see this movement just off the election, and it doesn't seem like it's just congratulatory things because
Hmm.
they were talking. Some of them were talking to him, especially the Europeans, kind of a couple of weeks ago. So they got 90 days to get stuff realigned. So that's a good start that they're moving that quick.
There's a lot of damage, and they have to move quick because the damage that's been
Yeah.
done not only to the economy, also to the nation, but also to the international relations.
Balance.
Man, no, the international relations is so jacked up. Okay.
Well, I saw a good sign today. They said China came out and said,
You outside it?
No, I'm in the house. That's not me.
Who's outside?
That
I
was me.
saw,
My bad.
yeah,
Okay.
that saw a
If
good
you're
sign.
outside, mute up until you're ready to talk.
China came out and said that that they're happy to work with the U.S. and they respect American people's decision.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm hearing from the international press. Uh, uh, um, outside of NATO, they were all happy to see Biden gone and the Democrats gone out of office. Not because of the Democrats themselves, but the thing is because of
what's
this.
been done?
No,
Yeah,
this group that's coalesced around the Democrats. Okay, Obama. The Obamas were not for this. This is the Hillary Clinton. It's
neocon ring.
And it was
neocon thing.
decisive. The fact that they lost, like how they lost with the houses and all of that.
Yeah.
From the outside looking
Yeah.
in, it's not as always just a barely thing. No, this was decisive.
It was what somebody called it a Boston, right? Because it's a Boston.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 50 Cent posted Trump pics when he won, and black women attacked him in the comments, threatened to unfollow him or block him. Well, they'll be
And
back. They'll be back.
Boss, the interest rate dropped point 0.025
I
percent.
I wonder why it dropped.
You know why? And I know why. And AB know. We all know why. But let's just be quiet. Let them suffer.
I mean, the interest
hey,
rate dropped is because because the president has a lot of power over the Fed. Okay,
um,
Facts.
because Trump didn't allow the interest rates to rise when he was in office, right? Guess who did? Yeah, and the reason he did it, I probably shouldn't be saying this outside of in front of the wall, is because he wanted a wartime economy, which you have been on for the past 3 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to bring in money, so that's why your taxes went up, interest rates went up, and basically all this stuff went up because you got to find some way to pay for it. So anyway, but it's yeah. I said
yeah,
white women snuck right around the blue wall, and when they learned, but white women voted their pockets as they should. Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Mookie, Mookie can tell you white women. Okay, maybe they can be a little racist here and there, but the thing is, they vote their pocketbooks. They don't really give a shit about black people like that when it comes to voting. They vote their pocketbooks.
Yeah, they like black men. I mean, they have a certain way of thinking, but they
Yeah,
have a social standing.
yeah,
Like, so their cash flow, their quality of life, that's going to
yeah.
be number one. And they looked at Kamala and said, no, this
No,
ain't going to happen.
it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I do believe because I asked. Uh, because I asked Hammer. Hammer said this is about race. I said if you put Michelle Obama in the same spot that Kamala is in, she might win. Okay,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
she might win. But things Democrats have done so much damage as far as the economy. It'll
Yeah.
have been a hard sell.
That brings up a question of why she didn't go with a more cogent message like raising the minimum wage or something like that instead of pushing so hard for getting rid of
Okay.
pregnancies.
If the VP and the president are in office already, and you ask them that question, what would you ask them? As they said that, what would you ask them?
Or if I asked them why they don't go for raising the minimum wage,
In other words, if she promised raising the minimum wage, okay, and they're already in power in office, what would you ask them?
She's kicking him in the back
I
of the
know
leg.
why you didn't do that now. Why is it
Why did
so
you
late
do it
and all that
already?
stuff?
And that's what a
Yeah.
lot of
Right.
people, which is something Brett Bear asked her. Okay, when she started bringing stuff up, you're in office now. How come you don't fight for this while you're in office?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
What
why
was
V,
the answer she gave?
which is why
What was
it's
the
hard.
answer she gave?
Which
Good.
she didn't say anything. She tried to she word salad around it. Okay.
Well, she
Okay.
should have kind of separated her away from the administration
Yeah.
as much as
Yeah.
possible, but she didn't even do that. She just, when
Nope.
asked the question, ended up saying something to
Yeah.
the effect of, "Oh, I don't know
Be,
what I would do different."
because you have a sitting president in the middle of a big policy war, a bunch of
Yeah.
things with a lot of fingers in the pie, and what you say is going to affect that. So what are you going to do
hmm
as VP?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because at best, she's at odds with him, and then at worst, they're what enemies, which isn't good for the Democratic Party either way.
It's not Democratic Party. It's also not good for the policy as for a sitting president's last 5 months in office.
Sure.
So it's a tricky thing. It's, say if the Biden administration had been successful and everything's rolling right, you could just roll right on in, okay? Because you're rolling right off his success. Well, if they're not popular and then you try to put out a different message, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the circular firing squad started yet within the Democrats? Do they still?
Yeah, I think it has.
The thing
Yeah.
is, they had okay. The thing is, okay, the Democratic Party was already split about her,
hmm
okay,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
and basically the Clinton wing won, okay, by putting Kamala and their agenda in there, right? They won.
Yeah.
Basically, I've showed you how many people saying the exact same thing, right? Obama did not want her, okay,
Yeah.
Right.
because he didn't think she was a quality candidate to carry the message, right?
The Money
Okay,
Boys won.
so the Money Boys won and the neocons won, okay? Because I mean, you'd have to be on my patient for me to explain the whole thing because I ain't gonna do that crap
Oh
here because
no,
I'm
it's
in enough trouble.
fine.
Hey,
It's
for
fine.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between like Tulsi Gabbard is a realist, right? Why did Tulsi Gabbard lead? Because her agenda doesn't fit theirs, right? Okay,
Hmm.
Tulsi Gabbard, Scott Ritter, Wilkerson, McGregor, all Mearsham, all these people that were normally quiet inside the bubble got kicked out. Why? And why did somebody like uh, um, um, what's her name? Okay, the Republican, what's her name? What the
Idly the right.
No, no, not Rice. Rice said it, but Rice is a new. She's
Liz,
the Liz. Yeah, yeah.
Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney
Let's
and,
say,
and Dick
yeah,
Cheney, right? Why did they back this Democrat when they never had?
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't until what? Until you realize your agendas align, right?
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
now
but
you.
it's a
see,
money guy,
So this is
war guy,
This is beyond party. Okay, it's not. It's not even money. Okay, it's bigger than that.
war.
But
BGS, I
it's
got a
way bigger than
question.
that. Yeah, because they spent way more money than they needed to do this. Okay, the 4B movement dangling raw fish is uninterested brother.
Mhm. BGS, I got a question.
There's 4 billion coochies on the planet, man. That's what the
Yeah,
Korean women are finding out.
yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead.
And I'm asking you because you've been around longer. Have you ever seen a Democrat candidate focus this much on abortion as Kamala Harris did this election cycle?
They did. Haven't. But the thing is, guess how much they really had to run on.
Not
Nothing.
much,
The only two
That's
things they
it.
had to run on is abortion and what? We ain't Donald Trump, okay?
pretty
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
Right.
And that's what they
Yeah.
pretty much ran on, okay? I say,
Yeah.
white women. Okay, around the blue
I was gonna
wall,
say,
4B movement. So, go ahead, jump in.
like, I totally agree with this. And again, I was gonna say, like, I'll be totally honest. I voted for Biden in 2020,
Okay,
and I did
Okay.
not like Kamala. Um, I thought she was a boring candidate. I didn't think she had any substance. I liked her origin story. It was kind of cute, but I needed a real leader, right? So I slowly, of course, you guys know I'm teaching and I'm listening to my students, and my students
uh huh,
are almost all Trump supporters.
yeah,
So I'm listening to why they're Trump supporters,
yeah,
and it's interesting the perspective. And then when Biden said he's not going to like run, I was like, okay, do they have a proper candidate in the Democratic Party? Are we gonna have a process?
Right.
And she is like anointed, and I was like, she's the worst candidate. Nobody likes her. Like,
nope.
why did you put somebody else? Like, at least give us
He,
an
he,
option.
he was because he was told to by his money people, which is Soros and the Clinton wing. Okay, she's a Hillary Clinton acolyte. Okay, and so he actually wanted Susan Rice to be his VP.
That would have been much better.
Yeah,
We may
no,
be
because like
she's
she was yeah. At one point, she was really put the front of the party, right? And then all of a sudden, poof, she disappeared.
yeah, because of what was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
In fact, somebody sent me something. I don't know if you've seen this, AB, about. Did you send me this, AB, about about the Hillary Clinton person that talked about Kamala Harris
Yes,
was
that was me.
that was you? Okay. Did you play it?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
played it,
that was
right?
really interesting because she said even Willie Brown came out and said she shouldn't have been vice president, which
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is not Pink Books. This is the original one. Okay.
he know her
Okay.
better than anybody.
And
Yeah, yeah,
but the thing is, it's interesting about what she said. This is people behind the scenes. Okay, that's why I play you people behind the scenes. A lot of people, shout out to Progress and Black Truth. What you don't listen to is the people behind the scenes that are in the know. Okay, because
mhm,
I learned a long time ago when it was taught by Craig Hewlett who to listen to. Okay, it's not what how much you listen to, but then you got to refine who's right, who's got their finger on the pulse, and who's on the inside. And those are the people that you listen to when they do and indeed do speak. Like Susan Rice, like Condoleezza Rice. Okay, why do you pay attention to her? Because she knows because she's an insider, right? Okay. Now
mhm.
sometimes she'll deflect. Sometimes she'll lie about things. There's going to be a core truth in there somewhere. Somebody doing something in the background, like
Not me.
making food or something.
Not me.
Okay. But I'm saying if you're doing something in the background that we can hear, please mute up until you're ready to talk. So if you walk
Happens
around
in
and
my
leave,
class all the time.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind. The thing is, Just mute up until you're ready to. If we can hear you, that means you need to mute up until you're ready to talk.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's play this for a minute.
Feel any disappointment that Kamala Harris hasn't been able to become the first woman of color and first woman to be elected to the presidency?
I am so disappointed and really insulted. I'm a Howard alum, and that she didn't have the decency to walk out and say something to her, to her university, make a comment to the United States. Things were not looking well for her. It wasn't completely over, but short of a miracle, we knew which way this was going. And that she didn't have some grace. I mean, it shows us how classless she actually is, a sore loser. And even though it's painful for her, for the Democrats, I think America might be relieved at recognizing and realizing they don't have to put up with this any longer. And if this is what they were walking into, maybe it's better that it gets, cut at the nip right now.
Well, she's such a poor candidate, Barbara. She's such a poor candidate. Of course, she was a surprise pick for vice president as the running mate for Joe Biden, but he said he was going to pick a woman of colour, and she got the gig. She's never won an election of any substance. This would have been the first one if she didn't get a vote when she contested the primaries. Why do you think she's failed? What was the biggest mistake of the Democrat campaign?
The biggest mistake was her not selecting Shapiro. I mean, she had an ace in the hole, and she didn't take that. Shapiro is so well respected, liked. He's doing an incredible job in Pennsylvania. And the reason she didn't take it is another part of that personality that, eked through. She is so completely insecure that she could not have someone that bright around her to upstage her and outshine her. And so this is why she didn't select him, I'm pretty sure. She made a lot of mistakes by bringing on all of Hollywood and Beyonce and all of these people.
But they always do that.
Beyonce wasn't very happy.
They always do that.
Beyonce wasn't happy.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Now you know the Democrats. You're connected to them. You've worked in the White House, the Democrat president. So tell us what they're going to go through in coming days. They may lose the House and the Senate as well. They may have gone backwards in the House and lose the Senate. A very, very dark day for the Democrats. Do you expect them to learn? Do you expect serious recriminations?
One of the things I noticed is that, or I really believe is going to happen, is that, we have to remember that Obama and Michelle did not come out to endorse her for about more than a week, about 10 days after all of the other elite Democrats did, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all of the others. But they didn't come out. And Obama really wanted to have a proper, go through the process of the primary and everything, let the Democratic National Committee choose and select who they really wanted for a candidate.
How many times have we said that, right? How many times did we show that?
Yep.
She eviscerated her.
Obama has been telling people all along, before she became vice president, not to do this and not to jump at that. Willie Brown as well, who, who had been the mayor of San Francisco, said give her a position somewhere, but not VP.
In other words, they didn't believe in it, huh?
Shit, Miss Barbara Jean cooking her ass.
Yeah,
For sure.
She is
that's that old school accountability.
Don't let mama get mad at you, okay?
Yeah, don't let her get some drinks in her.
And it pissed mama off right now.
Off the hen dog.
Yeah, mama mad right now. She on one.
Yeah, mama get that hen in her, boy. It's over.
Yeah, the man was saying this would be all sorts of misogyny. You hate women. You hate them. They gotta take that shit.
Okay, so
BGS, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question to this. And Ed and AB might be able to help you, but I know you know. Did Willie Brown endorse Kamala?
No.
For VP?
No, for president.
No, he did not.
Okay, that should tell you all you need to know. If your goddamn lover who put you in the politics ain't covering for you, why should the rest of the country help you?
I don't think she wanted his endorsement either.
Yeah.
with their history.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look. Not your former bedmate. No, that's not a good look.
Well, at least she finally got some black in her with him.
Oh yeah.
She been had a lot of black in her. Okay.
That wasn't.
Willie Brown coming.
Everybody knew what it was with her marriage.
That white boy is her first. Okay. Anyway, that's explaining.
I actually disagree. I think that women like her their body counts are at the wazoo.
She has a type. Is it called Q dogs? Okay.
Oh boy, oh God.
So I don't know how many white boys you've seen her with over the past was it 40 years, but he's the first one that we've seen. Okay.
She like to stomp the yard, gentlemen.
Them Q's a different breed now. I'm telling you.
She's a AKA, and she loves Q dogs, and that's what she has been with.
But honestly, BGS, you got to think about this fact. Like, she's one of these mulatto-looking women, right? And I have a lot of experience with them. I'm in the Midwest, home of the mixed children.
She ain't in the Midwest, okay? She ain't a Midwest kid.
Man, but these mixed women, they jump from left to right, right to left all the time.
No, they don't. Okay, no, they don't. There's a lot of mixed chicks, and Mookie can tell you a lot of mixed chicks have a type and they stick with it. Okay.
Yes.
And she has a type. Yeah.
I have a type. Yeah, that's right.
They got a type. Okay.
They do.
Yes. Yeah. His type says konnichiwa. That's his type.
No. He's a little bit more broader than that. But thing is, I can tell you this. Okay. From my experience, most mixed kids that have black in them, okay, normally 90% of the time choose black, okay, because they get a
90%.
They get a better deal. Yeah. 90%.
Most of the light skinned chicks I dealt with, all they did was I'm dark skinned. Like all they did was dude's dark.
Yeah, because because dark dudes actually gonna treat them better. That's why.
I gotta ask y'all. I speak for the Midwest, man. Y'all gotta see it, man.
I'm in California,
I feel you.
sir.
I know, and I've been in. I'm Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota.
I'm in Cali. Okay, she's a Cali girl. Okay.
She's a Cali girl. She acts like a Cali girl. She does not curse. I'm from Chicago. She would not act the same way like Chicago. She acts like a Cali girl.
And I know Cali girls that are AKA, and they do not, for the most part, they mess with elite black men. They don't mess with white guys. Okay. Okay.
So that's why Doug had them gold boots on yesterday.
Yeah.
Wait. Speaking of Doug, how did she not get
and Doug is a political marriage, okay?
Yep.
Now, Obama is a different person. It's because his mama was white, and Michelle was his first black woman, okay? People, they have a type, okay? Anyway.
Boy, if you don't mind that, since you brought up Doug, I'm wondering how she didn't get caught drugged down by that scandal, that cheating scandal with Doug, like that came out back in August.
You know what I mean? If they talk about sex scandals and shit like that, Kamala Harris has a whole train. Yeah, there'd be nobody in office. Okay.
Nobody be in office if they went over everybody's sex scandals. Come on.
It was about sex scandals. She was dating Willie Brown while he's married. Okay, for a long time.
Sure was.
Okay. And he wasn't the first one. Anyway.
So people closer to her knew what was, coming on, and so they didn't listen to that. The Congress, I don't know which way it's going to go, but I think that if we have a couple more Republicans in the Senate to carry us through these next 4 years, but I think it's going to be easier for Trump than it was, back in 2016.
It could well be. He could be a much more powerful president than he was last time around. Thanks for joining us, Barbara.
Obama was right. Yeah. Obama was right. Obama said we have to protect the down ballot seats. Okay. And if we put her in, he wasn't sure that you're gonna keep the down ballot seats. He was actually right. You didn't win the presidency. You didn't keep your down ballot seats either.
Wow. You went 0 for 3.
Yeah. Yep. So Obama was right. So. Said Democrats cost Kamala her pretty privilege card. No, I think that's called the wall, sir.
Yeah.
And L Train says black women said they're leaving black men for the 10th time. Yeah, but the thing is, you know what, black women? I said I got one for the black women, right? Okay. When they say that, right?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
That's the black women saying that they're leaving the black community for the 10th time. Okay.
Big thumbs up, y'all. For sure. Yeah. Cool.
Where are they going to go?
To the white man.
You know what? They were brought over here to be concubines to white men. So what has changed in almost 300 years?
Nothing.
They're gonna but BGS, they still gonna get them a white man. You just wait. Next generation, they're gonna
Okay.
get them a white man.
Next generation, huh? Yeah, they say that every generation, right?
It's like Cowboys
But
fans. Just
So
like
so
next year, we
so
gonna win the
so
Super
so,
Bowl.
so how come black men can marry out at what triple the rate that they can?
Yeah.
BGS next year.
they're
You
not
don't hear them. It's
You,
next
hey,
year.
hey, hey, hey,
Next year, next month.
you
Oh, you
sound like
gonna do it
you,
next year in Trump's America? Good luck.
you sound like
Shout out, shout out to
sound like a cowboy fan.
Exactly. Yeah.
shout
Exactly.
out
Yeah.
to Dave Chappelle. You gonna do it in Trump's America?
Yeah. Oh, I got something to say to our black women. Think they're gonna get the white man, right?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Them white dudes, though. Them white dudes, please. Armor roast ain't even in it. Y'all ain't even like. That's one thing they keep bringing up. Oh, it's so many white people. Because when they were seeing like Trump go up there giving a speech, I'm like, if that's what y'all looking at, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Like that is, you'll be all right.
All right, Mr. Z, you wanted to come up here. What you got to say, sir?
What up, y'all? To the next generation, Star Trek Next Generation.
Give us your intro, man. You can't come in without giving us your intro. I'm good now. Go ahead.
Okay. Look, first, we already predicted this. Shout out to Black Rouge. Shout out to you, BGS. Shout out to PK and AL because they predicted this also. So we knew this was going to happen. Number one. Number two, the crashing out. Oh, the crashing out.
Yep.
I don't know why these people really think white women are going to vote against their interests. I hate that framing. Like they're voting against their interests. No, they're voting for their interests. Like you said, BGS. Number one, their pocketbook. But number two, why do you think white women want to be single and throw a temper tantrum like you, sisters? Why do you think white women are perfectly okay with being 40 and 50 something, never married and maybe never had kids? Maybe had kids but never been married. Why do y'all think professional white women want to live that life? I don't. Y'all putting way too much. Y'all
Because they need to
over-indexing on that.
believe it.
No, seriously. You have, our favorite garden gnome is over here. She put way too much onus on this, and now, well, you now you looking kind of retarded because you put way too much stock on these white women, these college-educated white women that vote disproportionately for Kamala Harris. Yeah, what about all the married white women that voted for Trump?
Oops.
No,
Well, the argument is those white women are uneducated.
even the uneducated white women that are single, that are one paycheck away from sleeping in their car, no better. Okay.
And that's all
But
it
they
is.
also forget that there's a group of white women out there who still have generational wealth to fall back on,
Yes.
Well,
even if
once
they may
again,
be single or whatever.
now the ones with generational wealth may have voted for Kamala Harris because they have interest in the agenda.
Correct.
But
Correct.
the thing is, especially after the hurricane, where you have white chicks that had to go through their savings and stay in a freaking hotel. Those are the white women that decided I have to vote for Trump. Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, North Carolina made it so they could go to another county and vote. So they made sure they fixed that shit.
Oh yeah, they fixed it.
That
Also,
explains.
last thing I'm gonna hop off, but the last thing I'm gonna say is Trump does need to be investigated for what he's feeding his son. Because I don't know how that motherfucker is 18 years old at 6'9".
That's not
Yeah, no, he's
unusual.
tall as hell.
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
unusual. That's not
No,
unusual.
he taught himself, but
Like, because you look at Dr. T's son is 6'11", so it's
yeah.
not unusual.
But to
It's in the genes.
Ed's point, because I was actually looking at the map while the election was going on. I was wondering about what was that county that got hit real hard? It starts with an A.
Asheville.
Asheville. I was wondering why Asheville was blue. Like that's not right. But then I noticed around the surrounding counties it was really red. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
you want to look at a map that looks horrible? Look at the county by county map on how, like the United States map for how Trump won county by county.
Electoral college
That
map.
shit look like some
Yeah.
fucking Reagan shit.
Yep,
Yeah.
it does. And well, it always looks like that, but it looks even worse this time. And I agree with Ed. Every time you look at like the electoral college map, it always looks horrendous. It's a sea of Crips. I mean, sea of Bloods and very little Crips.
Yes.
That's what it looks like. Always.
Not only that, they Kamala Harris didn't gain anything.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't gain points on Biden on any county in the United States. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you've got a group of white women in particular who are definitely aligned with men, and they know their interests are with men.
Yep.
And those guys, those women are living harmoniously with men. They're not liberal at all. They know what's going on. They know what they're in for. Those women voted for Trump 100%.
Yeah.
So I was low key joking with my lady this morning, Theo, and BGS and y'all. I was telling her, I was like, baby, I'm all you got. It's either me or JD Vance on The Handmaid's Tale. So you choose. I was joking when I said that. I just, kind of
keep her,
but yeah.
keep her in line, huh?
Right. Fear tactics. But no, but like I keep on saying, and I'm glad everybody's saying it too. Is like, it's JD Vance. It's JD Vance, y'all. It's JD Vance. That to me, I really think he's going to, by hook or by crook, bring these white women back in line. I was having this conversation with one of my boys earlier, and I was like, hey, JD Vance is that motherfucker. He's pretty much telling women, excuse my language, he's pretty much telling women, hey, all you white hoes, y'all better get back in this house. Get your ass back in this motherfucking house. Excuse my language, y'all, but no, that's what I really see JD Vance is doing.
Hey, Z, I'm gonna need you to tell your Democrat fans, Democrat friends, get your head out your ass, because JD Vance is going to be a problem in 2028.
Sir, excuse me. We're leftists. We're not hardcore Democrats. There's a difference. There's a difference.
My apologies, but same message.
No, but you're right. You're right. And the blue no matter who thing, you gotta have someone inspiring. You have to have, the voting against Trump clearly didn't work. You don't appreciate how much people voted against Kamala out of spite. The Dems are coming off way too preachy, way too smug. Even if if their policies are quote unquote on the right side, which in this election they weren't, but still you're coming off too smug, and people will vote against you out of spite. This is why Francis Fukuyama put out that book a few years ago, Liberalism and Its Discontents. Y'all not counting the discontents, the people that have won in this economy over the past 40 or some odd years, some of our brothers and cousins and sisters and aunts who kind of crawled out of working class and now they're upper middle class and above. They really do not appreciate all the people who didn't win. And the masses of people didn't win. The masses of people are the ones with the stagnant paychecks. Right. You keep on being smug with those people saying, well, overall, we're going to better overall, everyone. It's not good enough. No. To be frank with you. And the Democrats, when they do get W's, they don't highlight it in neon lights. The conservatives will highlight their wins in neon lights. Right? So it's a number of things. And I quite frankly, we already knew Kamala wasn't talented enough. They tried to hit us with all type of sexist misogynists for saying it. Now can y'all finally on the left say Kamala had a major drawbacks, and y'all couldn't make up with it with vibes and celebrities. Y'all could not make up for it with vibes and celebrities. It's not good enough. And I'll pause right there.
She didn't have the gift, and we knew that from the beginning. We knew it even before. So, and that's what the Democrats, the party was trying to say that, okay? But things was forced down their throat. But thing is, you got what you got.
Yep. Yeah,
and they did the best what they could with what they had. Go ahead, Wrench.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a lot of people know what competence looks like also. I mean, across the board, you look at when it came about that black men weren't satisfied with her, she threw together a half-assed plan and tried to present it. That's a sign of being incompetent. Bringing out the number of celebrities that she did to have Meg Thee Stallion twerking on stage, as if black people in general want to be represented to the world in that way. That's incompetent and half-assed. I mean, you look at when she was getting interviewed and they'd ask her questions, and questions that she's supposed to know, stuff that you prepare for because you know that they're going to ask about the economy. Right. You know, they're going to ask about what are you going to do different than Joe Biden. They're asking, hey, what does the first year look like under your term? Questions that you should know the answers to because you've prepared for it. The fact that she didn't have those answers lead to a bigger problem, that she's incompetent and she's not the right person for the job. So even if people with common sense, even if they wanted to support her, after looking at those interviews and stuff, man, a sane person would say, she's not the one. You know what I mean? And then
she's not presidential, bro.
That's why they try to hire her as long as they could.
Yeah.
You know, the Democratic Party is the party for black people. You know why? Because they tried to make $1 out of 15 cents.
I think the 15 cents. I think the 15 cents is too much for what they had, man. She wasn't worth a. As Rich would tell you, she wasn't worth a plug nickel.
I almost called Kamala being being a pick before Joe Biden even picked her. I remember how much camera time they was giving her when she was a senator and she was sassing somebody, and they had the camera just fixated on her. I was like, man, they gonna run that light
Yeah, they
skinned
was.
biracial play again,
Yep.
just with a woman. You know what I mean? And lo and
Rich, let
behold,
me remind you of something. Even before that, you remember when Barack and who was it, Cory Booker, who got caught looking at her? Even before that, remember they got they got on Barack. So even back then, I was like, y'all putting her out there because for her age or whatever, y'all trying to say, oh, look at this fine ass politician here. So even before she was sassing, and I know what you're talking about. I don't remember who it was, but she was pretty much trying to do her Maxine Water reclaiming my time type joint. I remember that.
Right.
And yeah, so even before that, Barack and somebody got caught looking at her going up the stairs. Was it Eric Holder? I can't remember who it was, but I remember that. Yeah. They was trying to put her on the map since back then.
Yeah, I figured that they were going to try to run that racially ambiguous. We can pawn off as being black, but she's not black, so we don't have to worry about. You know what I mean? So we don't have to worry about the cultural aspect of it.
She was sold by Hillary Clinton and Soros, because Soros and Willie Brown are basically friends, and so basically Soros took a liking to her.
Yeah,
and so it was Soros and Hillary Clinton, from what I'm hearing, that she took a liking to her. And then they pushed her on Joe Biden. Same way they pushed her into this position. Okay, it was them that pushed Kamala Harris into this position because nobody wanted her.
Yeah.
Even AOC was saying the same thing, that we didn't believe we could win, and everybody wanted to go open campaign and all that kind of stuff, open convention. And AOC was crashing out about that. She said we can win this. So this was a split in the Democratic Party. In fact, I would say more like 70% of the Democrats didn't believe that she could win.
Yeah. Has anybody seen Hillbilly Elegy? I haven't watched it yet.
I have not seen it. I've seen clips of it, but I haven't seen it, the whole thing.
Right, man. I saw that clip of JD Vance on Joe Rogan podcast, and he up there talking about Furious Style and Boys in the Hood. I said, man, the brothers is watching.
I watched the whole
generation.
He's very well studied, and he's sharp. Okay, he's sharp as a tack.
Yeah, and see, with him, you can see competence. You know what I mean? As sharp as he is in the interviews, when he, but the Joe Rogan interview was kind of cool because it's good to see him kind of let his hair down a little bit, speak a little bit more candid. But when he's on Fox News or CNN, I mean, you can see he's firing on all 8 cylinders. You know what I mean?
He's a red-pill white boy.
Basically, he's smarter than they are, and he knows it.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And
just like Obama was.
Funky Academic had a great breakdown of white women in the Democratic Party boiling down the Democratic Party to abortion rights because excuse my language, these hoes is privilege and that's all they really care about. So, and I think his breakdown and essentially him in many ways, and we know this, and actually BGS spoke to this with the Jill Stein thing. Black women are just the mascot for white women. They're the overbearing mascot. And Funky Academic didn't say that, but that's what I'm getting from his analysis and from what you can actually see. And so the white women boiled down leftist politics to abortion rights and to sexuality, because quite frankly, that's the only thing they care about. Not being shamed for being hoes and having LGBTQ sons and whether they can have abortions or not. And if you're an upper middle class or even solidly middle class white woman, what else do you really care about? Your life is probably pretty sweet. That's the only thing you really care about.
Your taxes, you're worried about that. You're worried about
true.
I mean, you walk into a store, everybody's getting hit, okay? And the percentage of upper class women that we're talking about is less than 10%. Less than 10%.
But remember, dream hoarders, that these are the people that they know the number of their Congress members. So I agree with you, BGS. I'm saying they have an outsized amount of influence to maneuver things in ways that benefit them, whether it's good for the rest of society or not.
They do, but the thing is, sometimes things are overwhelming, and this is overwhelming. Okay, this is for the Democrats. This is a perfect negative storm. I mean, anything that could have gone wrong in this election cycle did for the Democrats, and maybe it's divine intervention. Right, them last 2 hurricanes were divine intervention. 2 hurricanes of that magnitude in the same spot. What are the odds?
Yep.
BGS, can I say this real quick? Saint Cyr, who
Well,
told you I wasn't being reckless right now? I'm just saying. I'm just
when
saying.
when are you
Mute up
not
for a
when you are
second.
you not reckless? Okay. And say when is he on and he's not
BGS,
being
you already
reckless?
did the math. Let's do the math. Mr. Z works at least 67 hours a week, at the least.
At
So yeah.
least, yeah. The only time Mr. Z's
Yeah.
not
So y'all
reckless is
tell me
when he
when I'm not
sleep.
being reckless.
When you sleep, that's what it is. Okay.
When I have to carve out time for my lady.
Yeah. Yep.
Shout out to
Yep.
Cheryl.
Yeah. I think the only time he's not reckless is maybe on a Sunday afternoon. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sunday afternoons, but even some Sundays, I can't even tell you how. I'm not even gonna say it, just in case. Plausible deniability. Anyway.
Mhm.
All right. See
Yeah, yo. So yeah, no, I mean, like I said, this was needed. We need this. And I still don't think I want to see more of the crash out videos, not just to poke fun at Black women, to be honest with you, but I think they need to really come to terms with white women ain't going with the bullshit. And
Yeah.
what you're trying to do is put all of your stock. It's Polly Murray all over again, like I said a couple nights ago. Y'all trying to put all y'all stock on single white women. And I don't know if there's enough single and okay with being single potentially for life ass white women. Not just the 24-year-old, 25-year-old that still got a couple years left before she hit the wall. I'm talking about white women who are 28, 32. Are they okay with not having children and potentially never
No.
being married for a lifetime to align with bitter ass Black women? And I don't think so.
Well, no, they're not, because it doesn't align with their social status. So
what's the point of being a white woman if you don't have the kids in the family? I agree with you, Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Donnie Mac, okay, the reputation that she has is she's a Q lover, okay? That's the reputation that she has, okay? So I don't know what you've been hearing, but I heard she loves Qs. That's what I heard. Okay. If you're into gaming and play Dead by Daylight, they released a new killer that's a black woman with a bulldog. That should be it probably is Gorilla Grip and her bulldog, huh? All right, and so you got
Call
a
of
couple.
Duty Modern Welfare.
Yeah, oh, you ain't shit. Oh, you wrong for that, man. You're fucking wrong for that.
Shout out
Brad Policies versus JD Vance, and Castlevania Kid says after Alphabet Boys get their diddlers list. Okay, all the chosen celebrities had to dance for the Democrats. Okay, no, from Epstein's list. Okay, we like to call it Epstein's list, just like Emily's list. And one
funny
more.
story.
Albert C. says, y'all don't think Gen Z millennials women will come back and avenge us in 4 years? The hatred for men is through the roof for their generations. Albert C. They have to go up against JD Vance. Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they shift with the environment too. If Trump does what he said he was thinking about doing on Rogan's podcast when he said he was toying with getting rid of federal taxes. Man, if he do something like that and people are seeing more with their check, man, them hoes gonna get in line with the quickness.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if Trump can push that through freaking Congress, okay?
Yeah.
Which hasn't been done in over 100 and some odd years, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
That would be a miracle, even by the Republicans, okay?
Yeah.
Standard. Yeah.
That means you make your money on what? Tariffs. You know what? You know, that's not with all these international corporations. Good luck. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Phil Scott, man. He played a video yesterday. Letitia James looked a little nervous in her press conference after Trump won, and all I have to say is, what did I tell you about palms? They always go first.
No, let's go first. I said, Ben says, you ever heard of the Manosphere? Well, we live in a new age now, the age of the Manosphere. Dana Bash, CNN on election night, the next one. Yeah, the Manosphere is a force to be reckoned with right now, man. It really is. We got another half hour, guys, so jump in.
Should have never let us out into the ethos, Black
if you let the tired baby out the briar patch, guess what's gonna happen to it? Okay, it's gonna spread, right?
I don't know if you heard me yesterday, AL. Yeah, now you can talk cash shit about how Trump dominated the election.
Thank you. Y'all are welcome. It was a landslide. Senate, House, and presidency.
That is a coup. That's a Republican coup. Go ahead, Wrench.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wish I can find this old clip. Man, this was a couple years back. I was sitting back watching Law and Order, and they were doing this case on the show, and they mentioned the Manosphere and just drug it through the mud. This chick was writing on the dry erase board, and she was saying, "Oh yeah, the Manosphere is just a dark corner of the internet, with a group of incels." And they were basically the perp that they were chasing. They were trying to say that that's kind of where he came from. It's a couple years old, man. I wish I could find it so that I can compare it from then to now. You know what I mean? Do a compare and contrast.
Yeah. Inspired Truth, you wanted to ask a question?
Oh yeah, I was trying to see if any of y'all heard Amazing Lucas. His stuff was getting weird. He was like the black vote doesn't matter. And he was like
Amazing Lucas fell off once them right wingers cut him loose, man. He can't coon no more.
He's not relevant anymore.
I think he wants to come back. I mean, he had his MAGA hat.
He tried to come for us and got squashed. So
he got squashed, yeah. I don't know what's going on with the dude, man. You piss off your base, it's kind of hard to come back. You got a lot of hum though, Terrell. I mean, Inspired Truth. Who's got the hum?
It's not me.
Yeah, and it's a buzzing. I still hear it.
That was Jules. Okay.
Wait a minute. I got to do like old Ric Flair.
What's that?
Hold up. I need everybody from Baltimore to Baghdad, Anaheim to Amsterdam, Zimbabwe to something else that starts with a Z. On the count of 3, I need everybody to say that magic phrase on 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Okay.
Now,
what up, Charles?
What's up? What it do? What the business is? I don't care what you're gonna say. Trump got his. Bitch, get your mind right. Let me talk to you. Bitch, get your mind right. Let me talk to you.
Shout out to Young Jeezy.
Yeah, of course. I think somebody was gonna get it. Now, this is the funniest thing on my. I'm surprised Mr. Z isn't one of my Facebook friends because he would have laughed. I was trolling big time. Shout out to Dr. Dunbar because he noticed it. I said to a lot of these chicks who were mad with me because I voted for Trump. I said, and one of my famous quotes, I seen your baby daddies. With that being said, you have no business picking a president if you can't pick a good man.
Don't take it personally, Charles. I only use Facebook for Z stuff to buy Z perks.
This is the
same
part
way
where
they said that we chose a felon, but like, so's your baby daddy.
I was like, if you chose a felon, your baby daddy got more charges. And let me tell you the legal. And what's up, Mook?
I'm glad you said that.
My older cousin is named Mookie. Guess what? Shout out to Growing Up Black.
Mookie was jumped in, okay? He was jumped in. He was on a mixed tip. He got jumped in, so they started calling him Mookie. This is his hood name.
And plus, I'm gonna put and on a serious note for a quick second. I got a few people that I want to take your course, and I'm gonna put my email address in the back chat for good old Mook, so you can help me out with some of the pad-along. So we'll
if Ninja Person, I know this question gonna come up. If Ninja Person is here, go ahead and post Mookie's details, okay?
Yeah. So I'm gonna put my email so we can talk.
Or Jules can do it. You can actually email Jules too. So Jules or Ninja Person.
And this is the thing that I had to tell a lot of these bitches, because I had to tell a bitch that I brushed my gasoline on here, and I said, look, you trying to say that I'm out of shape, first of all, you got triple chins, bitch. So,
okay.
But on a serious note, I had to tell a chick, do you know how many females in the police and military I served with said, bitch, I was never going to I never voted for a woman to be in the fucking office. She like, what the fuck do I want a bitch to fucking leave me for? I need a man. And what a lot of these chicks
pause.
Yeah.
I really don't care one way or the other. She can do the job, man.
And that's the part. She couldn't in this circumstance. And I told this. She said, one, I've noticed this one thing. You never heard, and you heard all this stuff about reproductive rights, but you never talked about, can we build families? Can we build education? It's always about the selfish nature of a female. And this is when we were conversing. These chicks act like spoiled brats because they didn't get their way. You know what the beautiful thing about being a wrestler is? You may not always win the championship. You may catch an L, but you learn how to deal with the punches and the cross faces. So, what happens when you lose and you don't get what you want? Oh my God, we're gonna. I had this one Instagram friend, and she told me, "Well, we're gonna take away all the females from the internet. Black women everywhere should get off these dating sites." I said, "Shorty, we got 21 million black women. We got 4 billion women in the world. I think niggas will be okay."
It will be okay. Yeah.
You know, and shout out to
they're
everybody because I'm running for president in 2028. My motto is Faulkner and whomever. 2028, fuck them.
Fuck them. Just like fuck them all, huh? I said Lionel player one says I just paid $32.83 for 2 sticks of deodorant, 1 fabric freshener at Dwayne Reed in New York City. Who wants 3 more years of Kamala and Biden's inflation?
but hold on, BJ. At this point, them threatening coochie is kind of moot considering there are a number of MAGA black women out there that look good. So that's really it's not even a threat within your own group. So I don't know what they do. I don't know what they think they're doing.
I'm
Yeah.
also gonna like to see when there's no Trump and maybe even no more JD Vance to see how much of this kind of skew maybe to the right is actually authentic and how much of it was about Trumpism in particular. That's something I think
That's
that
what I
remains to
said
be
too.
seen. I think it's going to take us about maybe 5 to 10 years to see that. But yeah, let's see.
That's what I said. What are the Democrats going to do when Trump's not there to run against?
What are Democrats going to do? They have to go up against J.D. Vance.
Tap
Good
Bernie.
luck.
They're gonna tap Bernie on the shoulder and say, "It's your time, old man."
Yeah, not against this guy.
He'll be
He's
a
too old.
corpse by that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not against
he'll be
this
a
guy.
Don't have a policy to run on. That's
No.
the issue. And
Yeah.
for myself, I moved from Democrat to Independent during this election. I was looking at them and saying, "Look, what do you have? Like, why should I vote for you?"
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have anything. Whereas Trump gave me plenty of reasons to vote for him directly. That would like I'm going to personally benefit. So I'm like, I can't help but vote for Trump. So if he actually implements them, then I'll be like, hey, you've got a track record. Okay, Dems, what do you have? Besides victimization or saying that if I don't vote for them, then I'm going to be picking cotton next week.
Theo, it's gonna be once again, black men, it's gonna be up to you to take the power away from white women and black women. You can't have the Democratic Party be run by a bunch of bitter single ass cat ladies. JD Vance was right about that. And until you take the power from these wayward ass women who only care about who they fucking, right? Excuse my language, then we're gonna have an issue on the left. The left is full of spoiled ass college educated brats.
No, just not. Well, college educated, yeah, and they're of all ages, and they're a bunch of cat ladies right now. This is exactly correct, right? And I'm just like, look, yeah, like what the other gentleman was saying. Where do you have a place where you're having family building, where you're actually having two people together, actually raising their kids together? No, that's considered to be something of the past, of the 20th century, as they would say. Like,
I
no,
got the
man,
word for
it's
you,
right
Theo.
now.
Neoliberal. I'm not neoliberal. Sorry, wrong word. Negative liberty. Negative liberty. That's what all these women are about, and some men too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
pretty
nuts
much.
as far as I'm concerned. They have no clue what they're dealing with.
They don't. That's what they depend on. They don't know what they're dealing with.
If we're gonna call a thing, pretty much this is what it is. You got China is 2/3 of the U.S. economy, and actually a bit more than that, more like 70% of the U.S. economy, right? And nipping on the U.S. heels. You got Russia borderline starting a goddamn second Warsaw Pact, and the JD Vances of the world are saying, y'all hoes need to come back home. We got shit to do. That's all it is.
Well, you try to short what little you can, because most of that stuff that they've done already is too late. It's too late to get the cat back in the bag. If you listen to the economists like Wolf and other kind of
BGS,
folks,
now you
it's
know I'm
already gone.
Haitian. You can't be talking about cats while I'm up here.
Oh yeah.
Do I worry about Chewbacca? Is he going to put some ketchup on my Johnson?
Tabby's in trouble. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the Democrats have got to have something to run on. And again, my view of Biden, I was very dissatisfied with Biden with the inflation issue. I was suffering around a 20% inflation rate over the years. And I noticed, as I wrote about this on Facebook, I had increasingly white people were asking me for money.
Yeah.
And I know, if white single mothers are asking me for money, that's normal.
Yeah.
But I didn't say this. White men were asking me for money. Like the ones who were employed, they were asking me for money. I didn't write that on Facebook. I didn't make that public. And I was like, holy, this is bad. So if you're talking about come back better and the economy is good, I'm like, no, it's not. Like this shouldn't
There's something
be
funny about
happening at
come
all.
back better, Theo.
Yeah, that's for you, Wrench. This is actually what's going on, right?
Yep. That's right.
That's more accurate, okay?
Yeah, I need that. But please, somebody send me that. That's gonna be a thumbnail on one of my videos.
I'll send it to you, okay? This is white feminists, man, whispering in black women's ear and giving them the forbidden apple, right? Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And I always, again, I tell our sisters there, that woman had no problem with you being enslaved, but yet you do this. Like, are you joking? Whose side are you on?
Basically second wave feminism, and this is from me, because that's not going to hit Pauli Murray, because once you find out who she is and what she did, okay, then you can figure out how the whole bailiwick came together, right? Second wave feminism was actually created by Pauli Murray and Eleanor Roosevelt. They came together and they brought other women that of like minds together, okay? That's how come they called her the mother of second wave feminism, is because her and Eleanor Roosevelt actually came together and put this shit together. She put them with those other groups of women that created now, okay?
Pause, because they came together in more ways than one.
Well, they did. What I'm saying is that's also where intersectional feminism came from, because Pauli Murray was gay, okay?
Boss, never forget about the influence of Margaret Sanger. Also, it's a trifecta with those three.
Margaret Sanger Margaret Sanger was not a feminist. Margaret Sanger was a eugenicist. Okay. As were the Bushes. Prescott Bush was her mentor. Okay, and guess what? They actually brought them with the. With black preachers to sell it to black women. It was not sold to white women. It was actually meant for black women to actually reduce the number of children that they have. Okay, and basically other unwanted children. She was a eugenicist.
You mean the undesirables?
The undesirables, yeah. Where you think all those names like idiots, and I think those used to be actually medical terms, right? By people that were of low intelligence,
Imbecile.
okay? Imbeciles, and all that kind of stuff. Those are actually medical terms back in the earliest 20th century, okay? And they were trying to not euthanize, but actually keep these kind of people from reproducing, along with black people. So Margaret Sanger was a eugenicist. She was not a feminist.
Yeah. It's no wonder we don't have kids.
We don't
have neighborhoods of kids. We don't have them.
That's how come it took George H. Bush to actually bring in a Title X, which is Planned Parenthood. People forget that. A Republican, so-called conservative Republican, bringing in Title X, which is Planned Parenthood. It's actually meant for black women. That's how you used to see more abortion clinics in the black neighborhoods than the white neighborhoods. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
Hey, I just wanted to add.
But it backfired on them. But it backfired on them. Go ahead, Leon.
I wanted to add, I think I was the first one to say, likely the Senate is going to be 50-50 or close to that.
It's 52. 52 or 53 now.
I thought it was like 270 something.
No. Okay, we're talking about the Senate. We're not talking about.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Okay, we're not talking about the Electoral College.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah, you're
295
right. It's
now.
53.
What is the Senate looking like right now?
And it's looking like
53.
53 something, 53 whatever
Yeah.
the other
Wow.
53-47. That's what it's looking like.
Republican?
Republican. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be 50-50, and I was like, I woke up to that, and I was like,
No,
wow.
no, no. Basically, they had called that on election night. That it looked like they were going to flip the Senate
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm saying it now.
and increase the Congress.
yeah,
All my fellow
wow.
lefties, hold on to y'all hats.
Well,
This is no Washington.
and I think a lot of lefties said that the Democratic Party left them. They didn't leave the Democratic Party.
Pretty much.
Yes.
No, this is true. I when I streamed yesterday morning, that's what I was saying. It's you're over indexing on this kind of cultural leftism
Yeah.
without the actual economic policies.
Yeah.
Y'all should have threw a goddamn fit when Biden when it went down to 1.2 trillion or 1.76 trillion for the infrastructure bill. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you gotta go when it's time to do social programs, you better go for gusto,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So yeah.
guess where the other $1 trillion went?
Well, overseas.
Ukraine,
No,
Middle
bringing
East.
in no bringing in migrants.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Well, overseas.
Yeah, well, overseas is another point. That would really, okay, in my opinion, that was his main goal, overseas. Okay, a continuation of what was left off when the Obama administration actually booted Hillary Clinton as far as Secretary of State. Okay, in other words, these are leftovers. Okay, that's like when you saw him bringing Victoria Nuland, you should have known what time it was.
For those of you that don't remember Victoria Nuland, just let me school them real quick. Victoria Nuland was the one that got caught sorry for my background, but Victoria Nuland was the one that got caught picking who the next leader of the Ukraine was going to be back in 2012, 2010, something like that, 2013, something like that, 2013, something like that. Yeah, or maybe a little bit later. But yeah, that's who Victoria Nuland is. Just letting y'all know.
Yeah, Theo, what they're saying is, if you count all the weapons and money and stuff like that the United States actually put up and sent over to Ukraine, it amounts to like maybe 150 billion dollars.
Okay, so yeah, now we'll look at that one. Yeah, so 175 billion. I just looked at another site. So
Yeah.
175 billion.
It depends on how you count it, okay?
Yeah.
And that's not including not including what the Europeans actually put in. So we talk about maybe somewhere 250 billion to actually fight this particular battle, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they went all in, plus a couple of pipelines and some doodads, you know.
Let me address it to Dominic D. I would say that's the Clinton third wave. So the Republicans always outspent or what's the word I'm looking for? Getting the money all together. They always outspent the Democrats. The Democrats got tired of losing when Mondale got fucking mopped. Right.
Sure.
All it did was give the Democrats carte blanche to move to the right. So what you have is lightweight right and heavyweight right. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. The Democrats are too right when it comes to certain things.
And plus the money move from basic industry and finance to tech, okay? And guess who's on the left? The so-called progressive left. The tech guys, right?
Emphasis on the so-called.
Yeah. So all the people that you see, all them billionaires and stuff like this, are all tech people, including Mark Cuban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically, your money moved also. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say so. Tech was not happy with Biden from 2022 on. There started being various problems with spending, with venture capital, and I saw again Silicon Valley execs talking about how they were not happy with Biden at all. They couldn't have proper investments, and then with all the high interest rates, they're like, "Hey, look, we can't put all the investment. We can't invest in tech like we want to."
It's all what happened to SVB, right? Silicon Valley Bank, when they actually raised interest rates, right? Okay, all that venture capital money dried up when the thing is, but he didn't care about that. What did he care about? He cared about, who's actually going to shape the global order, right? As Condoleezza Rice said, okay? Yeah. That's what he's been saying that. He's been saying that we're at a nexus, right? Why do you keep saying that? It's because which way is the world going to go? So a Pennsylvania kid says, Rich Turner, here you go, the Manosphere episodes, Law and Order, SUV 20 episode 1, Man Up FBI, Most Wanted, episode 3, season 3, episode 15, Incel Law and Order, SVU, season 20, episode 4, Revenge and Law and Order, and SVU, season 6, episode 3, Obscene. Okay?
Castlevania Kid, that's called 1 week in the Baltimore Police Department.
Probably
Damn.
so.
That's called, it's like
Tuesday for you, probably.
You got your sound corrected, Juice, because you haven't gotten in yet. But go ahead, finish up, Charles.
It's like challenging. It's like going to the fucking gym with Hercules, the god of raw strength. There is nothing you can challenge me with that I can't handle. And when you look at this shit, and it's funny because I know the inner areas of me was trolling people, and people were saying nasty shit, and then I had to get to my nasty shit. I said, look, the difference between you and men is that men know how to take L's. You bitches talking about we're not going to date.
And
I said, here's the thing. Men were not interested when they found out they could live without you during COVID. When men start getting passports and only realizing that your passport's $135, and when we start doing the math, I'm a criminal justice and history major, so I'm not good at math, so you got to forgive me. There's 21.1 million black women in America.
Yeah.
There's nearly 4 billion women in the world. I think we'll be okay when it comes to the women.
And guess what black women actually doing, right? Okay. They say, we have passport too. We're going to follow you. You ain't leaving us behind.
And guess what?
Stop laughing, Mookie. Mookie laughing his ass off. Mookie's laughing his ass off. Stop laughing, Mookie.
And guess
That's right.
And guess what secret atomic bomb that black men started?
Are you muted, Mookie?
Yeah, I'm muted. So I remember in Japan, like there would be Western women on the train, and we would just ignore them. And we didn't even care. We just keep on going. Because there were so many beautiful Japanese women around, we didn't have time to look at Western women.
So who were the Western women with?
We didn't care.
They weren't with anybody. They were looking for you.
Although they weren't with anyone. They were always by themselves.
They were looking for you, Mookie. That's why they came to Japan. They didn't come there looking for Japanese men. They're looking for you in Japan. Same thing in Colombia. They down there looking for black men in Colombia. Okay, no, y'all niggas ain't leaving us. Where you think you going?
Wait a minute, Japan. Wait a minute, Negro, you in Japan?
Mookie, don't bend the knee, Mookie. Don't bend the knee.
Not right now. I'm going back.
Half Japanese chicken. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. I'll just say this: it was the easiest place for me to date snow bunnies was in Japan.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they had nobody. They had no place to go. Why was it?
Nowhere to go up there. Too?
Yeah. Why did they say that?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
They had no options in Japan.
So what I'm seeing more and more, and I want to see how this goes in the next couple decades, years, is Western women really don't appreciate how spoiled they are until they step out, until they go overseas. When they realize nobody really checking, when they realize they got to pay for fees.
2031 is what you're talking about, okay? If not
tomorrow.
Yeah, 2031 is when they're gonna realize that the game is over, right? Okay. They're already starting to realize the game's up.
Why do you say that date, by the way, BJ?
It's because that's when there's no more role for the can to get kicked down, and the credit card will be maxed out. And the
social credit card, the upward mobility credit card.
No. I'm talking about the United States credit card to borrow money.
Oh, okay.
And
no more reserve currency.
So basically, all that's so they're gonna have to get it out of your ass. Okay, so everything's gonna be up. So all those social programs they depend on gone. Okay. Basically, and plus they're already gonna have to start automating like crazy. Mookie can tell you they're gonna have to start automating like crazy to actually compete with Asia and the BRICS. Okay, and they haven't done that. They haven't done that because they want people to work. What happens when they can't do that anymore?
And guess what, BGS? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like this. This one documentary I've seen in the WWF every January. It's called the Royal Rumble, 30-man battle royal.
Yeah.
bitch gonna be tossing each other over the top rope to get to a good nigga.
Are they going to be in a trade program swinging a hammer? Okay, because those are the
Or
only
doing
jobs really
Golden
going to be left.
Girls.
Are they going to be and no? How many white and black chicks that went to school can actually go out there and get blisters on their hands swinging a hammer?
Let
Hey,
me.
Yeah, and that's
these
what gets got
ladies will
automated
At one
literally,
weapons.
time.
these
Go ahead,
ladies
Leon.
will literally swing a hammer, not to be with you brothers.
Bull. Hey, I got two words for you, Leon, that I made that I made too. It's called bullshit.
Bullshit.
Let me tell you this, BGS. Let me tell you this, BGS, fellas. I was on a live on Instagram, and there was this lesbian chick talking about I'm a dominant female. I said a dominant female is like telling a Connie Corso that I'm a dominant Chihuahua. What the fuck? And I told her, I said, let me ask you this something. Well, you telling me females can't lead the war? I said, let me ask you this, sweetheart. How old are you? I'm 21. You're half my age. Have you been to war? No, I have.
Eddie Murphy's ex-wife is a dominant female, okay, because she's a Uber 10, okay. That's a dominant female. She can walk in any room and get what the fuck she wants.
Said
okay?
I said the only reason you probably a lesbian female is because the boys weren't picking for you. Okay, that's normally the reason why you go to the other side, because the boys didn't cheers. You didn't want to be the practice girl, so you had to settle for what you could get. Number two, you got to understand, what's the doctrine of warfare we under? We were under, before my father's time during Vietnam was unconventional warfare. The time when I went to war was urban warfare. Meaning, look at your bedroom or whatever room you're in currently. That's how far shootouts will be from wall to wall or closer.
I mean, so look what Israel, even Russia's fighting it right now. It's called urban warfare. Okay.
So imagine you have to be ruthless enough, strong enough to fight a guy who grabs your rifle, and meaning you probably going to carry a 9mm, but I'll probably get a 45 because it's a heavier round to put your ass down. Or you're going to carry a big enough bowie or combat knife or a tomahawk to split your fucking hair. So, what are you going to do with a guy my size coming up on you and we're within room distance?
Pray.
She's gonna drop down on all fours like they all do when shit get rough.
And big, you know.
And you
pull it out. She just whip it out.
Right. She's gonna trip and fall with her ass in the air.
You're gonna think you're gonna take a guy like me out, because people forget, even in World War II, at some point, every war, even if we go into fucking Halo, is going to end up being, even Halo, you had to do some type of hand-to-hand combat. So stop thinking that you're this great gift from God. You're actually going to fucking hold us back.
Most collapses are basically not even urban warfare. People just give up. That's what's happening now. We got about 2 more minutes, guys. Yeah.
Let me
go
say,
ahead, Jules. Hold on. Go ahead, Jules.
Oh no, I was just saying, does it sound clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Yeah. I'm not surprised by Monday/Tuesday night. Talking to my parents, they were shocked and they were very disappointed. But
you knew better.
I thought she might be able to eke it out, but she was running up and up.
Come on, you knew better, so you weren't surprised with the result.
Well, I say the media has a very strong persuasive effect on people's lives.
I mean, when I'm talking about them, I'm talking about you. You knew better.
I mean, I thought she might be able to get it, but I just didn't see many windows.
He trusts white women too much.
So what reason did you think she was actually going to get it?
Media persuasion. That's the basic thing. Like, she didn't have much policy. She didn't have much to go on as far as personality or charisma. The only time I thought she had some charisma that made her seem genuine was a Shannon Sharp interview, and even that was kind of manufactured and really short.
I thought it was 3 hours, but and basically
was it a full interview?
Yeah, she did.
I only saw like an hour.
Oh yeah, she did like 3 hours, but and she was genuine. Huh. Okay, she was genuine.
Yeah, that was really her. I've seen that.
Yeah,
it's
the rest of the time probably the last.
Yeah. But no, overall,
it is what it is. She was attracted to him. That's why you saw it genuine.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, basically, the AKAs, those are the kind of men that AKAs chase. So that is she's right in her wheelhouse.
Shannon Sharp does kind of talk like Willie Brown. They kind of got that.
The kind of country educated country slang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
In
like
fact,
that?
That's a
we,
great description, BGS. That was a great description.
write it down, man. Write it down. Well, I know too many guys like that. That's why.
I
In fact,
mean,
my mentor, she's like that. She got a PhD. She's got educated country slang.
Damn, I feel called out like a month.
I mean, that's the whole East Southeast bunch of-
Hey, country niggas, stand up.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Stand
educated
up.
country.
Hey, when I go to Southern
Everything.
California, I turn it all the way up too. They eat that shit up, boy.
Where you think half these people came from, man? So they say, oh, he a homeboy. Okay, he cool.
Yeah, I gotta say, I turn it on, man.
And so that way they can turn theirs on because they don't have to code switch.
Right, right.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you sound more genuine, makes you sound more homespun. And then you can throw in some $5 words and, but this one knows something. It's a good way to mix it up.
All right, you got about
Pretentiousness of it all.
you got about 10 more minutes, guys. So y'all get it all in, okay? Jump in. Don't be shy.
What do you think about the interest rates going down?
Get who's in office? Who's coming in office?
Yeah. The mortgage rates ain't go down, but I was watching.
The mortgage rates will follow the interest rate because how the banks money, okay? Banks make money by doing what? Taking they take the base rate and add 3%. That's how they make money.
Yep. Loan 3, collect at 5. We're up by 5.
So basically, they loan money, they borrow money at. Say they borrow money at 4, right? Okay, then the mortgage rates will be set at about right around 7. That's how they make their money. Plus,
I did see the dollar. The dollar is strengthening against the real, the Brazilian real, and I think the Colombian peso too, or the Colombian dollar.
Yeah.
Some small benefit.
It's small benefit. Look, but the thing is, your real indicator is usually gold, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Gold is going through the roof right now. That means your dollar, your underlying dollar is probably weak, okay, or anticipated to be weak. And plus, your BRIC countries are actually accumulating like crazy. So gold, and I saw when Trump got in, Bitcoin had a pop. So they're anticipating a weaker dollar, which Trump
I did see
favors.
I saw my assets just pop on Wednesday morning. I was like, oh shit, everything's coming up. It'll normalize though over the next few days, but it'll show you a good time.
Ninja person, put Mookie's because I knew it was gonna come up again. Ninja person, put Mookie's details into the chat if you're listening. Okay, I know this always comes up. Okay, by this time, if you've been to my channel enough, okay. Everybody should have. Everybody, I mean, every goddamn body should know how to contact Mookie, if nobody else. Okay, because I get this, like, I get this question, every single show. Okay, I get this question. Okay, Mookie probably is probably better known than I am on my own channel. Okay.
Well, you have to start the live stream.
Talking about what Theo was saying. Let me say this, and I want to put out like a PSA. And actually, because what Theo said earlier, I've just been thinking about it since he was talking about all the people that are disaffecting from the left.
Mm-hmm.
So culture is down from politics, or down the road from politics. Politics is down the road from culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
The left is going to have to come to terms with all of these disaffected men. And it's something we know that Richard Reeves and Scott Galloway have been speaking about for a couple of years now. But I want to say this. You can't have a good maybe 70% of women across America, that's the white women that are on the left, the black women, the Latinas, whatever. You can't have a good 70% of women and maybe 20% to maybe a third of white men in particular hold up America. It's not going to work. I just want to stress this to the left. Your quote unquote college educated liberal men and the black and the Latino ones that are like them and the Asian ones that are like them and maybe 75%, it's not gonna be that much, maybe 68% of women, that can't be what you think is going to hold up America. It's just not. And we're not in the space to play around. China is nipping on our heels. Once again, Russia with this pseudo Warsaw Pact they got going on right now. You just don't have the space to do this anymore.
China's not nipping at our heels. China's leading us. Okay, China's passed us up in 2017. And we're playing catch up. China's not nipping at our heels. Okay.
Yeah. And so they're financially ahead of production wise.
Real quick, the point still remains where it's you don't have the time for the middle finger to the working class men or to quote unquote low propensity voters or the uneducated class. You just don't. And I'll pause right there.
Yeah, but China. Okay, this is something, and this is something that Wolf pointed out, right? Okay, what are the BRICS, right? The biggest manufacturing country on the planet that makes 85% of your products, and the four largest resource countries on the planet. Okay, where's China? Who's nipping at whose heels?
We're about 5 to 10 years behind them, and they're advancing faster than we are.
What I'm saying the thing is, and this is something that I was trying to tell black folks way back in 2003, right? Okay, China announced way back then, 2002, 2003, they were actually going to graduate. Okay, graduate 1 million programs, 1 million engineers per year. Okay, per year. Now fast forward 20 years. What do you expect to come out the other side? That's why I
At
play.
least 500,000. At least
That's why.
500,000 solid programs.
That's why I actually basically do what I actually show China business. I think it's uncovered, right? Okay, and he talks about that twice a week, right? About China makes an electric car that we can't make.
Yeah,
we cannot make that car.
Joints?
The BYD joints. We cannot put it. I said they are revolutionizing electric cars and electric propulsion. They're making shit that we cannot make.
Hey, by the way,
that we
Tesla
can't make.
competitors for half the price.
Yeah,
not a quarter.
China has a bigger navy than we have. Okay, at this point. Okay, and if in another year they're gonna have a bigger navy, a bigger air force than we have. Okay. They have more advanced weapons. They have a whole bunch of other stuff. The thing is, GDP is how much people make, right? Okay, China makes Chinese people make a fifth of what we make, right? So, as far as purchasing parity, they passed us up years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying they're ahead in many areas. We still have an edge in certain places, but yeah, in many areas they're ahead.
What I'm saying is, the basically, that's how come the freaking chip plant in Arizona failed, right? We can't even build that, okay? Even though it was our research, right? But China took that shit and basically we can't even build shit, okay? We can't even build the chips that they built, okay? Because that's just in Taiwan with Chinese money.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that you're doing all this is because you're trying to slow them down because they're ahead. You don't want them to run away. Okay, they're already ahead of you. And now since the they were ahead in banking until the Ukraine thing, and now they're not ahead in banking anymore. Okay, because you now have like 100 and some odd countries ready to leave the dollar. So anyway. That's probably too much for this side of the wall.
That's what you have when you keep fucking with people. Let me shut up.
Right there. You probably did. Let me read some super chats and we get out of here. Okay. Okay. Steele's class. We answered that one. What do you think? What do you guys think about XRP? I haven't looked at XRP. Okay, but all your crypto should be up. Okay, against the dollar because your dollar's weak. Okay, even though it says it's up against currencies, your dollar's probably weak because your metals and your assets are up. Okay, the reason your stocks are up, okay, is because people are moving from the dollar to assets. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
can I say this real quick to Johnny Anderson in the comments? He said, "Why aren't the Chinese selling EVs in the U.S. if they're so great?" The same reason why the GTR didn't come to America until 2009 and 10. It's the U.S. auto manufacturers lobbying the U.S. government not to bring them in, and the U.S. politicians knowing that this competition would flood the market, and who would be buying Teslas and the Ford Mustang EV and all this other stuff if they were to sell BYDs and whatever other EV company cars that they have in China.
BYDs have a 50% tariff.
Can I add something? The real price of a BYD Shark is the maxed out one is like 38,000. The max. That means everything included before the tariff.
Before the tariff, right? Okay.
Before the tariff.
Add a 50% tariff.
Yeah. And they're good. It's not like no knockoff. Like they're really good. So the Model 3 equivalent of the BYD is half the price, right? Or if not a third of the price, with the same tech, the same type of performance,
Hmm.
similar looks, all of that across the board for anywhere from a third to half the price. It's no
Better
competition.
quality on the
Yeah,
inside compared to
yeah.
that ugly box
Because
Tesla
people
put
don't know
out.
BYD started as a battery company. That's why
Yeah.
that's what you got to remember. They didn't start off on a manufacturing. That's what makes their range and everything, because they start off as a battery company first,
Oh
and then
no,
they
tell
acquire.
the
Yeah, yeah.
truth.
Go ahead.
Tell the truth where Elon messed up. They were making his batteries.
Yeah, they were.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, well, of course, because they couldn't make them here. You know, they don't really make batteries here because they're poisonous. Okay,
Yep.
even your car batteries are made in Mexico for a reason. Okay, because the chemicals are poisonous.
I got to drop. We got class, got resume
All right.
review, so I got to
Yeah.
drop.
I gotta drop
Yeah.
too.
I'll see you guys later. Okay?
We're gonna wind down. Closing thoughts. Closing thought, real quick, Mookie, if you want one.
Hey, this is well deserved. I mean, this is our victory time. The Democrats have got to figure this stuff out and listen to normal people like I did.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not doing that, well, they're going to keep on losing the next elections.
Yep, I agree. Thanks, Mookie.
It was good talking to Theo. I'm out of here too. Thank you for having me up, BGS. All right, panel chat.
Yeah.
All
Mr.
right,
Zio.
he's out. Mr. Z out.
This
Anybody
should
else?
be
Closing thoughts?
Yeah,
this should
salute
be
to
an
the panel.
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, salute to the brothers on the panel as always. Salute to the brothers in the chat.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just left an automation expo out here in Texas, man. With Elon being a part of this this presidency and being a part of whatever this efficiency department he's creating, a lot of shit is gonna get automated out. And
Yep.
I went and seen a bunch of it here in Dallas. So be ready, brothers. This next 4 years, it's time to run it up.
Man, it's basically what is it? Road gets rough from here, as they used to say in the country.
Yep.
And keep up that educated country swag, man.
Yeah, we'll do. I appreciate you having me up, brother. Y'all be good.
All right.
My closing thought is thanks for having me up, BGS, and to all the heifers claiming they're going to keep their coochie on ice. You can always go buy another one. So I'm out.
Yep.
Man, so they trying to be like a Dodge right now, sitting on the lot for 390 days. Oh Lord.
Yeah. There's okay. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to find it.
Car sitting on lots. Yeah.
Oh, let me see. This is one China business. Inside China business, right? Okay, let me play this real quick because he asked that question, right? Okay, let me speed it up just a tad, right? We just play a little bit of it, okay? Not all of it. So, but I play this a lot, okay? I play him a lot because he actually follows this stuff. He's in China actually following this stuff, right? And he's the one that talks about where our disadvantages are.
The top selling car brands in 2023 in the United States through November of last year. The Ford F-Series pickup trucks were far and away the most popular vehicle sold, more than twice as many as number 2 on the list, Toyota's RAV4. Ford shows up again at number 10 with the Ford Explorer. Toyota has 5 of the top 10 spots for 2023, but the Ford Explorer is the most expensive vehicle with a base price of $37,000 or so. Here are the numbers so far for 2024. Ford pickups are number 1 again. The Ford Explorer is at number 14. The Ford Transit is actually a cargo van, not a passenger van. It's at 18. And at number 25 is the Ford Maverick, which is another pickup truck. So Ford dominates in the sales of the highest priced vehicles, which are pickup trucks and commercial vans, and their Explorer is an SUV. They don't show up at all in the top 25 for sales of sedans or other passenger cars. That's the first big takeaway. The second is that Ford dominates in sales segments that Chinese manufacturers are not big in, not yet anyway. So these high tariffs and import bans that we have on Chinese cars coming into North America, they don't really help Ford Motor at all. Ironically, the American tariffs on Chinese cars are helping Japanese car makers more than Ford. They're the ones who would go out of business first, head-to-head against affordable Chinese vehicles. This is from the Wall Street Journal, and as we go through it, it's tempting to think that Ford is in the same jam as other car makers like Volkswagen or Toyota and General Motors. But it's not true. If tariffs went away tomorrow, Ford would probably still be fine, at least for a while, because of the market segments they're in. But what Ford Motor is doing here is very clever. The other legacy car makers are in survival mode and living on borrowed time, which will run out as soon as Chinese car makers are allowed to get into their markets. But Ford is trying to build on the advantages they've already got. It doesn't matter who you are. You may be a small business owner or a mid-level executive or the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar multinational company. Your first visit to China will change you. You'll change your mind about a great many important things when you see for yourself the supply chains and the logistics and the massive Chinese port operations. That leads to big decisions whereby you're forced to either reimagine ways to compete against Chinese companies or imagine new ways to cooperate with them. Jim Farley is CEO of Ford Motor Company, and on his trip to China, he learned it was a waste of time to compete against China at all on electric cars, anywhere in the world. And he also gave up competing in the passenger vehicle segment in China.
And basically, he's spitting game, okay?
He says Chinese car makers are moving much faster, using technology we don't even have in the U.S. market, and they have
using technology we don't even have, right?
Access to low-cost supply chains that kill us on price, and that they're expanding everywhere. Farley bought some Chinese electric vehicles and shipped them to Michigan so his leadership team could see for themselves. The first model was from Xiaomi, which didn't even make cars at all until a few years ago. Xiaomi is a manufacturer of cell phones and home electronics mainly, and already Xiaomi is building a car that looks like a Porsche at a fourth of the price and way below Ford's electric Mustang. Ford also brought in an electric minivan from Li Auto, and Ford's executives said riding in that thing was like traveling in business class. So Farley's strategy here is to show Ford's leadership that China is already so far ahead in sports cars and passenger vans that it's a waste of time to even try. Remember though, Ford isn't really there. They're pickup trucks and commercial vans, and they've got one SUV, the Explorer. This is a chart of vehicle sales globally. The orange line is China. So far, Chinese electric vehicles have been kept out of the US market, but in Mexico, they went from basically 0 to 20% of that market. Same story in Europe, 0 to 1/5. Here, Farley says Chinese electric vehicles are a long-term risk to Ford in North America. So why would that be, given Ford's product mix and market segments? And what should Farley and Ford Motor do about it? The answer is here. Ford did try to build and sell an electric pickup truck, the Lightning, but it's selling poorly. Lightnings have an MSRP of around $70,000. Poor sales in the Lightning division caused many observers to conclude that there is no market for electric pickup trucks. But BYD is a Chinese company, and they introduced a hybrid pickup truck for the Mexico market. The BYD Shark is around $50,000, and it's selling well. So there is a market for an energy-efficient pickup truck for North America, but not at $70,000. The price point needs to be lower. If BYD is selling hybrids at $50,000, they're taking market share from Ford in Mexico. Lots of those sales would otherwise be Ford's, and that's Farley's problem. So he needs to build an electric pickup truck or a hybrid for $20,000 less than what they're doing over at Lightning, and nobody at Ford knows how. While Farley was here, he watched some technicians rip apart a BYD. The teardown revealed elegant, low-cost engineering. The exact opposite of what Ford does, in other words. So in order to fight against BYD and the other Chinese makers, he needs to borrow from them. Now, Ford has some big advantages right now. Chang'an is Ford's joint venture partner here in China, and it is a strong relationship. Farley and his CFO are at Chang'an, and they're driving around some of Chang'an's models. A common criticism of Chinese engineering and China's innovation is that the Chinese brands simply reverse engineer everything that smart companies in the United States or in Europe or in Japan are doing, and then mass produce at a lower cost to take markets. That is not true anymore, in most industries anyway, and that's another thing that visitors here can see for ourselves when we tour factory floors and just talk with people. Farley knows a lot about cars, an encyclopedic knowledge of car models, says here, and he says these guys are way ahead of us. There's no point in trying to do at Ford what Ford's partners are already doing at Chang'an. So they gave up completely on Ford's ambition.
So in essence, that's a short story about why they can't sell electric cars in America, okay? It's not rocket science, okay? They can't compete, okay? Dr. Marifa says, yep, they are playing a different game. Salute to the Jermaine after party, okay?
Yeah, I remember.
And the last one is BGS Taco Tax, okay? All right, real quick, closing thought?
Off the top of my head, 3 years ago, I bought Ford stock when it was like $8, and soon as it got to like 22, I told NTR to sell because the article came out about that Lightning, the electric truck, that they weren't going to mass produce it because they couldn't compete with Tesla.
Yeah.
So it hit 24. I sold it at like 22.5, pretty much.
Okay.
I made a whole lot of money.
So where's it now?
The money?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Where's the stock price?
Oh, it's probably, I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I just knew
Okay.
when they said they weren't going to mass produce that because they couldn't compete with
Mm-hmm.
Tesla, that their rise in stock price was because of that vehicle, and they thought they were going to mass produce it, but they didn't.
Okay.
And this is like from 2022 when it came out. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ford, they didn't have the technology to do it.
They basically they United States didn't invest in engineers
Hmm.
and that kind of stuff like China did because they actually wanted to make more cushy jobs for females because
Hmm.
and that's what happened. That's like we don't have enough people in the trades is because you stop training people in the trades. You actually want to push all these people into these into these other kind of jobs, okay,
Yeah.
service jobs,
And
and that's where.
the Mustang, the electric Mustang,
Mm-hmm.
they had to reprogram it multiple times, and basically you got a car that accelerated fast but overheated, so they reprogrammed it. Then now it just drives like a Toyota Camry.
Yep. And so Rich
Yeah.
Turner says if you hit the dash 3 times in the BYD, a cook bowl of ramen will pop out the armrest. Y'all ain't shit. Okay. Anybody else closing thoughts, you guys? Because we got to get out of here.
I
This
like
should
to
be
say,
interesting in the next 4 years.
We'll see, man. But the thing is basically anything's better than here, right?
I
That's what
like
everybody's
to,
saying.
I like to say this.
Mm-hmm.
What a day a difference make. And for
Mm-hmm.
all you strags and bottom bitches, Trump, Trump, Trump. Look in your mirrors when you go in the bathroom in the dark.
3 times.
Uh, and
Oh,
just to
but
let
the Strags are pretty quiet, man. They in the cars
oh,
crying, but they quiet.
oh they, I had to shut a few down on Facebook. I said, first of all, um, well, y'all hiring a felon, so is your baby daddy. You let him go to the White House, your Oval Office 4 times. But anyway, I'll probably do a live stream tonight, either during the Ravens game or after. Go Ravens! Woo!
All right. Anybody
It's the
else closing thoughts?
first of many
Boss,
victories.
boss, this election was a vote for mankind. Two baseballs and a baseball bat. And I'm so proud of each and every man who stood up for mankind. In my 51 years of life, never have I ever had, and you too, and Charles and everybody else in the Black Manosphere ever had of a JJ run this country, be commander in chief. And I'm proud to keep that streak alive. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for
Smoke,
voting for mankind. Thank you.
smoking like a true Texan. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anybody
We
else?
out.
Anybody else closing thoughts? Jarrell, you got the last word. You want it? Yes? No? If not, we are out of here. Okay. All right, folks, we out of here. Let me go ahead and play the song.
No. You got to play "Fuck 'Em All."
Well, I played that at the intro. Well, I'll play it for you.
Oh yeah, you got to play.